Hey, can't you watch where you are going? Why did you bump into me? I didn't mean to. You bumped into me.
It was a mistake, and you hit me too. We both weren't paying attention.
No, you did this. I don't care about you. You're the one who wasn't looking. Do you know how expensive these medical appointments are? I could have been seriously hurt.
The entitled Princess Act, the blame shifting, the complete dismissal. It was so familiar it made Camille's stomach turn. Just like Ji-hoon, Camille stared at this young woman. Delicate features, twisted in irritation, perfectly manicured hands gesturing dramatically, expensive clothes and jewelry catching the harsh hospital fluorescent lights, and felt something inside her shift. She'd spent 3 years making herself small, apologizing for existing, accepting blame for things that weren't her fault. Not anymore. You know what? Camille straightened her spine, shoulders pulling back. I don't forget a face. She studied Yuna's features carefully. The large eyes, the delicate bone structure, the long straight black hair, the petite frame drowning in expensive cashmere. The face she'd seen in photos on Ji-hoon's phone months ago when she'd first discovered the affair. You're Yuna, right? The effect was instantaneous. Yuna froze. The color drained from her face, then rushed back in a hot flush of red across her cheeks and neck. Who the hell are you? Her voice came out strangled, higher pitched. How do you know my name? Camille felt a cold calm settle over her. The kind of calm that came from finally having had enough. I'm the wife, she said quietly. Each word deliberate and clear, of the man you're sleeping with. Time seemed to stop. The hospital corridor, the fluorescent lights, the passing nurses, the other patients walking by, all faded into background noise. There was only this moment, only these two women, only this truth detonating between them like a grenade. Yuna's mouth fell open. Her eyes went impossibly wide. She made a small choking sound like she couldn't get air. Then her face twisted with fury. You... She couldn't even finish the sentence, sputtering with rage and shock. You're his wife? Her voice was loud enough that heads turned. A nurse paused mid-step down the corridor. An elderly couple, waiting for the elevator, looked over with concern. Camille didn't care. Let them watch. Let them hear. Stop forcing him to love you, Yuna's voice cracked, tears already forming in her large eyes. Just sign the divorce papers already. He doesn't want you. He wants me. And there it was. The script Ji-hoon had fed her. Camille felt something dangerous bubbling up from deep in her chest. It started as a small sound, then grew. A laugh. Bitter, harsh, absolutely mirthless. She laughed in this young woman's face. You're delusional, Camille said, and the laugh died as quickly as it came, replaced by cold, hard truth. You're actually delusional if you think I want that man. Yuna's tears spilled over, mascara beginning to run. You're lying. If he told you I won't sign divorce papers, Camille continued, voice cutting through Yuna's protests like a blade, then you're dumb for believing him, because I filed for divorce 2 days ago. He was served yesterday morning. She took a step closer. Yuna instinctively stepped back. So if he's telling you I'm holding on, Camille's voice dropped lower, more dangerous. He's a liar, like he is about everything else. No. Yuna shook her head violently, long black hair whipping around her face. No, you're lying. He loves me. We're building a future together. He's just waiting for the divorce to finalize. The divorce I filed, Camille interrupted flatly. Not him. Me. Because he was never going to leave me. He was going to keep you as his mistress and me as his wife, and lie to both of us forever. That's not true. Yuna was crying openly now, mascara streaking down her pale cheeks in dark rivulets. You're just bitter. You're jealous because he doesn't love you anymore. Bitter? Camille felt her own anger rising now, hot and righteous. Jealous? Of what exactly? Yuna's hand moved unconsciously to her stomach. A protective gesture. A possessive gesture. I'm carrying his child, she said, voice trembling but defiant. Something you couldn't give him. The words were meant to wound, to establish dominance, to prove Yuna's worth and Camille's failure. Instead, they freed something in Camille that had been caged for far too long. Guess what? Camille's voice was steel. I'm pregnant too. Yuna's face went white again. Her hand on her stomach froze. And you know what else? Camille continued, the words pouring out now, unstoppable. I'm glad I didn't give my baby a monster like your boyfriend as a father. She stepped closer again, forcing Yuna to meet her eyes. Because my baby? It's not his. It belongs to the right man, the love of my life. The lie, or potential truth, she couldn't be certain yet, felt powerful in her mouth. It felt like armor, felt like freedom. You're lying. But Yuna's voice was weak now, uncertain. Am I? Camille smiled, and it wasn't kind. You think you're the only one who got to have secrets? You think he's the only one who got to step outside his marriage? You cheated on him. I found someone who treats me like a human being instead of property. Someone who doesn't hit me. Someone who doesn't control every dollar I spend. Someone who doesn't scream in my face and threaten to have me deported when I dare to have an opinion. Yuna's eyes widened at each revelation. He hits you. You think what he does is love? Camille's voice rose now, months of suppressed rage finding its voice. You think the man who lied to you about his divorce, who's still living with his wife, who might have gotten both of us pregnant at the same time? You think that's love? He's not. It's not like that. Good luck with that, Camille cut her off. You're going to need it. Enjoy being controlled. Enjoy being trapped. Enjoy the lies and the manipulation and the way he'll make you feel crazy for questioning anything he says. She looked Yuna up and down one last time. This young, naive woman who thought she'd won some prize. I'm done with him, Camille said, her voice final. He's all yours. And she turned and walked away. Didn't look back, didn't apologize, didn't shrink or cower or make herself small. Just walked with her head held high, spine straight, shoulders back, down that hospital corridor toward the elevators. Behind her, she could hear Yuna crying. Heard a nurse asking if she was okay. Heard the murmur of other patients gossiping about the scene they just witnessed. Camille kept walking. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was hammering. Adrenaline was flooding her system, making her feel simultaneously powerful and terrified. But she didn't stop until she was out of the building, on the sidewalk, raising her hand to hail a taxi. The taxi driver gave her a concerned look in the rearview mirror as she collapsed into the back seat. Where to, miss? Camille gave him Minji's address in a voice that didn't sound like her own. It was too steady, too calm, like she was watching herself from outside her body. As the taxi pulled into traffic, Seoul passing by in a blur of buildings and people and normal life, Camille pressed both hands over her mouth and realized she was shaking. Not from fear, not from weakness, from the sheer electric shock of having stood up for herself, of having fought back, of having refused to be small. Holy shit, she whispered into her palms. I actually did that. New to the series? Check the description for the full story link. Trust me, you'll want to experience this journey from the beginning. Welcome to Seoul Afro Stories, your home for hot and spicy Afro-Korean dramas that don't hold back. Have you ever had that moment when you finally said enough? When you stopped making yourself small and started taking up the space you deserve? When your hands were shaking but your voice was steady? Comment yes or no. I'd love to hear your story. Where in the world are you watching from? I love connecting with my global Seoul Afro family. Drop your location below. If you're here for hot, spicy, unfiltered Karama with real emotion and zero limits, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support means the world, and part 6 is going to take us somewhere powerful. Now, let's continue this journey together. The driver glanced at her in the mirror again, but said nothing. Camille stared out the window at Seoul streaming past and felt tears start to form. Not tears of sadness or defeat, tears of release. 3 years. 3 years of apologizing for existing, of making herself invisible, of accepting blame for everything wrong in her marriage. And she'd just told her husband's mistress exactly what she thought, hadn't backed down, hadn't apologized, hadn't shrunk, had stood there in a hospital corridor and fought back. Her phone buzzed. Ji-hoon calling from yet another number. She blocked it without answering. The taxi wound through Seoul's afternoon traffic. Camille kept her hand on her stomach, feeling the place where a sweet pea was growing. I stood up for us. She whispered to the baby. I didn't let her make me feel small. I didn't apologize. I fought back. She'd finally found her voice, and she was never giving it up again. Minji answered her apartment door on the first knock, took one look at Camille's face, and immediately pulled her inside. What happened? You look, I just came face to face with my husband's mistress. The words hung in the air of Minji's small living room. Minji's eyes went wide. What? Where? How? Camille collapsed onto the familiar couch. The same couch where she'd cried so many tears over the past few days. But this time felt different. She wasn't collapsing in defeat. She was collapsing from adrenaline crash. The hospital? The OB/GYN wing? She looked up at her friend. We literally bumped into each other. Like, actually physically collided. Oh my God. And Minji... Camille's hands were still shaking as she gripped her friend's forearm. She's pregnant. She's pregnant with Ji-hoon's baby. Minji sank down onto the couch beside her. Are you sure? She was in the OB wing, and she threw it in my face during our fight. Camille laughed, the sound slightly hysterical. She told me she's carrying his child, something I couldn't give him. She said that to you? After you just... That's... Minji struggled for words. What a bitch. Right? Camille felt the laugh bubbling up again, more genuine this time. Like, congratulations! You're pregnant by a man who lies about everything. What a prize. What did you say? I told her I'm pregnant too. Minji's mouth fell open. You told her about the baby? I told her I'm pregnant, and it belongs to the right man. The love of my life. Camille met her friend's eyes. I told her my baby's father is someone who actually loves me. Camille? And Minji, I know now. She placed both hands on her stomach. I'm absolutely certain. This baby is not Ji-hoon's. How can you be sure? I feel it. In my bones. In my gut. In my heart. Camille's voice was fierce with conviction. The timeline, the way I feel, everything. This baby is Jae-sung's. Minji studied her friend's face carefully. You really believe that? I know it. I can't explain how, but I know. Camille took a shaky breath. And that means Ji-hoon is going to pay for everything. What do you mean? I mean the lies, the abuse, the humiliation. Camille's voice hardened. Telling her I won't sign divorce papers when I'm the one who filed, threatening to have me deported. All of it. She stood up, started pacing Minji's small living room with nervous energy. He's running for city council, building this whole campaign on being a family man. Traditional values, strong Korean husband. Camille, what are you planning? I need to make sure he doesn't win that campaign. Minji's eyes widened. How? I don't know yet, but there has to be a way to expose him, to show voters who he really is. Camille turned to face her friend. He can't win. If he wins, he gets power, resources, more connections, more ways to destroy anything he touches. Okay, we can figure that out. But what about the divorce? I need him to sign without fighting me. I need this to be fast and clean. Camille resumed pacing. I need to protect myself and this baby. I need to secure my visa status. I need everything in place before he can use his connections against me. And you can't do all that alone, Minji said quietly. Camille stopped pacing. No, I can't. You need Jae-sung. Hearing his name spoken aloud made Camille's chest ache. She'd been pushing him away for days, avoiding his calls, keeping the pregnancy secret, trying to figure everything out on her own. I've been pushing him away, she admitted, sinking back onto the couch, because I wasn't sure about the baby, because I didn't want to trap him, because I was scared. And now? Now I'm sure. This baby is his, and I need him. Camille looked at her friend. I need his help, his protection, his connections. I can't fight Ji-hoon alone. He has too much power, too many advantages. So what are you going to do? I'm going to tell him everything. The pregnancy, that it's his baby and will definitely confirm it, that I need his help. Camille felt certainty settling over her like armor. I'm going to stop pushing away the one person who actually loves me. Minji smiled. It's about time. Can I stay here? Just for a few more days while I figure out next steps? Of course. Stay as long as you need. Minji grabbed her hand. But Camille, you need to be careful. Jihoon is dangerous, especially now that you've threatened him. I know, but I'm done being afraid. Camille squeezed back. For 3 years, I've been terrified of him. Terrified of his anger, his threats, his control. And where did it get me? Trapped. Miserable. Believing I deserved it. You never deserved it. I know that now. Camille's voice was strong. And I'm never going back to believing I do. They sat in silence for a moment, just the sound of soul traffic outside the window and the hum of Minji's refrigerator. Then Camille's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But something made her. Hello? Heavy breathing on the other end. Then, Camille. Jihoon's voice. Cold and controlled in a way that was somehow more frightening than his rage. How did you get this number? I have my ways. We need to talk. We have nothing to talk about. My lawyer will contact yours about the divorce proceedings. Come home. Now. No. Silence. She could practically hear him recalibrating, adjusting his strategy. Camille, don't make this harder than it needs to be. Come home and we can discuss this like adults. I am being an adult. I filed for divorce from my abusive husband. I'm protecting myself and my future. That's very adult. Your future? His laugh was ugly. You don't have a future here. Then I'll go back to LA. With what? Money? You have nothing. I'll figure it out. You really think you can just leave? His voice dropped lower, more dangerous. You think you have any power in this situation? Minji was watching her with worried eyes. Camille stood up, walked to the window, looked out at Seoul's afternoon sprawl. I think you underestimate me, she said quietly. You've done it for 3 years. You think I'm weak, stupid, helpless. You've told me that so many times I almost believed it. Camille? But I'm none of those things. And I'm done letting you make me feel like I am. She hung up, blocked the number, turned off her phone completely. Minji was staring at her with something like awe. Who are you, and what have you done with my friend? Camille managed a small smile. I found her again. The me I was before him. The me who moved across the world alone, who built a life in a foreign country, who survived. I'm proud of you. Don't be proud yet. This is just the beginning. Camille looked at her phone. He's going to retaliate. Hard. I need to be ready. Then let's get ready. They spent the next hour strategizing, making lists, planning contingencies, looking up immigration lawyers who specialized in humanitarian visas, researching Jihoon's campaign and political connections. By the time the sun started to set, Camille felt less like she was drowning and more like she was building a life raft. What about Jae-sung? Minji asked. When are you going to tell him? Soon. I need to figure out how to explain everything without... A loud pounding on the apartment door made them both jump. Camille, I know you're in there. Jihoon's voice, loud enough to echo through the hallway. Both women froze. How did he... Minji started. Open this door right now. More pounding. Aggressive, violent pounding that rattled the door in its frame. If you don't come out, I'm calling the police, Jihoon shouted. I'll report that your friend kidnapped my wife. I'll have her arrested. Open the fucking door. Minji looked terrified. Camille, what do we... He's bluffing, Camille said, but her heart was hammering. He can't have you arrested for... I'll call them right now. Kidnapping. Harboring my wife against her will. Doors were opening in the hallway. Neighbors coming out to see what the commotion was. Camille, he's making a scene. I know. Camille felt cold fury replacing her fear. He thinks I'll be embarrassed. That I'll come out to shut him up. Camille. She looked at Minji. I'm not hiding anymore. Camille, he's dangerous. I know, but I'm done being afraid. Camille walked to the door, took a deep breath, straightened her spine, and opened it. Jihoon stood in the hallway, still in his expensive suit, hair still perfectly styled despite his fury. His face was twisted with rage, red splotches on his pale skin, veins visible at his temples, eyes burning with barely controlled violence. Behind him, at least 5 neighbors had come out of their apartments. An elderly couple, a young mother with a toddler, a businessman in casual clothes, all watching with undisguised curiosity and concern. Camille stood in the doorway, Didn't step outside, didn't invite him in, just stood there, spine straight, chin up, meeting his eyes with steady calm she didn't entirely feel. Get your things, Jihoon said, voice low and dangerous. You're coming home now. No. The word hung in the air. Simple. Absolute. What did you just say to me? I said no. I'm not going anywhere with you. His jaw clenched so tight she could see the muscles bulge. You don't get to order me around anymore, Camille interrupted, her voice carrying clearly in the quiet hallway. I filed for divorce. You were served. It's over. You think you can just leave? He took a step closer, using his height to loom over her. You think you have rights? You're here on my visa. In my apartment. Living off my money. Then keep the apartment. Keep the money. I don't want any of it. I just want out. You'll be deported within a month. His smile was cruel. I'll pull the visa sponsorship. You'll have to leave Korea. Go back to LA with nothing. Camille felt her hands clench into fists at her sides. But her voice stayed steady. Go ahead. Pull the visa. What? Pull the visa. Have me deported. Do whatever you want. She leaned forward slightly, closing the distance he'd been using to intimidate her. And I'll go to every media outlet in Seoul. His face went very still. I'll tell them about the married politician running for city council. Camille continued, her voice soft and deadly. Who got his mistress pregnant while still living with his wife? Who lied to voters about being a family man? Who told his girlfriend he was getting divorced when he never filed? You're bluffing. Am I? Try me. Camille smiled, and it wasn't nice. I have nothing to lose, Jihoon. You've made sure of that. But you? You have everything to lose. Your campaign, your reputation, your political future. You have no proof. I have Yuna, your pregnant girlfriend, who would be very interested to know you're still trying to control your wife instead of marrying her like you promised. The color drained from his face. What are you talking about? Your girlfriend, Yuna. We had a lovely chat at the hospital today. Camille watched his expression shift from rage to shock to calculation. Did you know she's pregnant? Complete silence. The neighbors in the hallway were watching with rapt attention, not even trying to hide their eavesdropping now. What? Jihoon's voice came out strangled. She's pregnant with your baby. Congratulations. You're going to be a father. Camille's voice was saccharine sweet. So why don't you go start your new family with her and leave me alone? How did you? We bumped into each other. In the OBGYN wing. Camille let that sink in. She was very excited to tell me she's carrying your child. Something I couldn't give you, apparently. Those were her exact words. Jihoon's mind was clearly racing. She could see it in his eyes. The calculations, the recalibrations, the desperate scramble to regain control. So here's what's going to happen, Camille continued before he could speak. You're going to sign the divorce papers. You're not going to fight me. You're not going to drag this out. Or what? Or I go public. With everything. The abuse, the pregnant girlfriend, the lies, all of it. She crossed her arms. Your choice. Clean divorce or complete destruction of your political career. You're making a very big mistake. His voice was low, controlled, threatening. You have no idea what I'm capable of. And you have no idea what I'm capable of anymore. Camille met his eyes. I'm not the woman you married. I'm not the woman who apologized for breathing wrong. I found my spine, and I'm not losing it again. We'll see about that. Yes, we will. Camille stepped back, hand on the door. Now get away from my friend's apartment, stop making a scene, and go be with your pregnant girlfriend who actually thinks you're worth something. She started to close the door. You're pregnant too, aren't you? Jihoon said suddenly. Camille froze. His eyes narrowed. Is it mine? No. The word was simple, final, true. Or at least, she believed it to be true. Whose is it? None of your business. If you're pregnant, I have a right, you have no rights to me or my body anymore. Camille's voice was ice. I filed for divorce. It's over. Move on. If that baby is mine, it's not. How do you know? Because I know. She started closing the door again. Sign the papers, Jihoon. Don't fight me. Just let me go. And if I don't, then we both lose everything. But at least I'll have the satisfaction of taking you down with me. She closed the door, locked it, leaned against it, heart hammering, hands shaking. Behind the door, she could hear Ji-hoon standing there, breathing hard, probably calculating, probably planning. Then his footsteps, walking away. The neighbor's doors closing. Silence. Camille slid down to sit on the floor, back against the door. Minji rushed over. Oh my god! Oh my god! Camille, are you okay? I can't believe I just did that. You were incredible. You didn't back down at all. I threatened him. Camille looked up at her friend with wide eyes. I threatened to destroy his campaign. I told him the baby isn't his. You stood up for yourself. He's going to retaliate. He's going to... Probably, yes. Minji sat down beside her on the floor. But Camille, you were right. You can't keep being afraid of him. You had to draw a line. What if he actually has me deported? Then we fight it. With lawyers, with humanitarian visa applications, with whatever it takes. Camille pulled her knees up to her chest, wrapped her arms around them. This is really happening. I'm really doing this. Yes, you are. I'm divorcing him. I'm pregnant with another man's baby. I'm threatening to destroy his political career. She laughed, slightly hysterical. I'm insane. This is insane. No, you're brave. There's a difference. They sat on the floor together in silence for a long moment. Then Camille said quietly, he knows about Yuna being pregnant now. What do you think he'll do? I don't know, but it won't be good. Camille rested her head on her knees. That poor girl has no idea what she's gotten herself into. You tried to warn her. She didn't listen. She thinks I'm the villain. She thinks he loves her. Maybe she'll figure it out on her own. Maybe. Camille closed her eyes. Or maybe she'll end up like me, trapped and controlled and apologizing for existing. That's not your responsibility. I know, but I still feel bad for her. Minji put an arm around her shoulders. You're a good person, Camille. Even after everything he did to you, you still have empathy. That says a lot. Or it says I'm a fool. It says you're human. Camille sat with that for a moment. Then, I need to call Jae-sung. Now? Soon. Tomorrow. I need to tell him everything before he hears it from someone else. She lifted her head, looked at Minji. I need his help. I can't do this alone. Ji-hoon sat in his car outside Minji's apartment building for 20 minutes after the confrontation, hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles had gone white. Yuna was pregnant. His wife knew. His wife threatened to go to the media. His wife was also pregnant. With another man's baby, everything was falling apart. He pulled out his phone with shaking hands. Dialed. Yuna, yeah, we need to talk. Now. Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Yuna opened her apartment door, eyes still red and swollen from crying after the hospital confrontation. She'd spent the afternoon in tears, processing the encounter with Ji-hoon's wife, trying to make sense of the horrible things that woman had said. Abuse, control, lies. It couldn't be true. Could it? She'd been planning to call Ji-hoon, to tell him about the pregnancy in a romantic way, with dinner and candles and joy. But he was here, at her door, looking furious. Ji-hoon? I thought we were meeting? He pushed past her into the apartment without waiting for an invitation. Are you pregnant? Yuna froze, hand still on the door. Are you pregnant? His voice exploded in her small living room, loud enough to rattle the windows. She flinched. She'd never heard him yell like this. Never seen him like this. Hair slightly mussed, tie loosened, face twisted with fury. Yes, she whispered. I found out this morning. I was going to tell you tonight. I wanted it to be special. Were you ever going to tell me you met my wife at the hospital? I didn't know that was your wife. Yuna's own anger flared now, defensive. How would I know? We bumped into each other. And you didn't think to mention it? You didn't think that was important? She recognized me. She knew my name. Yuna was crying now, frustrated tears streaming down her face. She told me she filed for divorce. Why didn't you tell me she filed? Ji-hoon's jaw clenched. Because I was handling it, you told me the divorce was almost done. Yuna's voice rose to match his. You said it was just paperwork, but she said she filed first. She said you were never going to divorce her. That's not... Did you abuse her? The question hung in the air like poison gas. Jihoon's face went very still. What? Did you abuse her? Yuna enunciated each word carefully, her large eyes searching his face. She said you hit her, controlled her, made her afraid. Is it true? She's lying. Is it true? Silence. The silence was answer enough. Yuna felt something inside her chest crack. Oh my God, you did. Yuna, listen to me. No, 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 no. She backed away from him, hand moving protectively to her stomach. She said you're a monster. I defended you. I yelled at her. I told her she was lying. She is lying, but she wasn't, was she? Yuna's voice broke. You did abuse her. You are still married. You lied about everything. I was going to divorce her. I was working on it. When were you going to do it? Yuna was sobbing now, mascara running down her cheeks in dark streams. Before or after you got me pregnant? Jihoon ran both hands through his hair, destroying its perfect styling. Yuna, you have to understand. Understand what? That you lied to me? That you're an abuser? That your wife had to file for divorce because you never would have? The timing was complicated. I'm pregnant with your baby, Yuna screamed. I'm 26 years old and pregnant with a married man's baby because he lied to me. Jihoon took a step toward her. She backed away. Don't touch me. Yuna, please, just listen. To more lies? No, I'm done listening. You can't just... He stopped himself, clearly trying to regain control. When he spoke again, his voice was calmer, calculated. Yuna, we need to deal with this situation. Deal with it. The pregnancy. The timing is terrible. My campaign, the divorce, everything. Yuna felt ice water pour down her spine. What are you saying? I'm saying we need to be practical. We're not ready for a baby. Not like this. You're telling me to get rid of it? I'm saying we should consider all our options. Get out. Yuna, get out of my apartment. The door behind them suddenly opened. Jae-sung stood in the doorway, key in hand. He'd always had a spare key to his niece's apartment for emergencies. His face was dark with fury. What the fuck is going on here? Yuna burst into fresh tears. Uncle? Jae-sung took in the scene with one glance. His niece crying. This man, this politician he'd had dinner with Wednesday night, looking guilty and aggressive. What did you do to her? His voice was deadly quiet. This is between me and Yuna. Like hell it is. Jae-sung stepped fully into the apartment, closing the door behind him. All 6 feet of muscular, tattooed, dangerous man. Yuna, yeah, are you okay? What did he say? She couldn't get the words out through sobs. He wants me to get rid of the baby. Jae-sung went very, very still. You're pregnant? His voice was carefully controlled. Yuna nodded, hand on her stomach. And Jae-sung turned to Jihoon with murder in his eyes. You told her to abort it? I said we should consider options. Get your hands off my niece's body. The roar filled the small apartment. Yuna had never heard her uncle like this, had never seen him like this. Every muscle tense, tattoos, seeming to writhe on his skin, eyes absolutely lethal. Jihoon actually took a step back. You're a fucking joke if you think you can dump my niece, Jae-sung said, his voice dropping to something more dangerous than shouting. After getting her pregnant, after lying to her about your divorce, after everything. I'm in the middle of a divorce. Because your wife filed, not you. Jae-sung stepped closer. You were never going to leave her, were you? You were going to keep Yuna as your mistress and your wife as your public spouse. That's not... Don't lie to me. Another step closer. I had you investigated. I know exactly who you are. I know about the abuse, the control, the complaints from neighbors. Jihoon's face went white. You had me... Of course I did. The moment my niece brought a married man to dinner claiming he was getting divorced. Jae-sung's smile was cold. Did you really think I wouldn't check? Uncle, Yuna started. And you know what I found? A corrupt politician. An abuser. A liar. Jae-sung was in Jihoon's face now. And now you got my niece pregnant and tried to convince her to abort it? The timing is complicated. The timing is your fault. You got her pregnant. You lied about your marriage. You created this situation. Jihoon tried to muster some authority. This is between me and Yuna. Wrong. This is between you and me now. Jae-sung grabbed the front of Ji-hoon's expensive shirt. You see these tattoos? He pulled up his sleeve, showing the intricate black dragon that wound around his arm, across his chest, over his shoulder. I didn't get these for decoration, Jae-sung said softly. I've done things that would make you piss yourself. Things that leave bodies where they can't be found. Ji-hoon tried to pull away. Jae-sung's grip tightened. You're going to marry my niece, Jae-sung continued. Once your divorce is final, and it will be final because you're not going to fight it, you're going to marry her. You're going to give that baby a father. You're going to do right by her. You can't force me. I absolutely can. Jae-sung's smile was terrifying. You want to know what I do for a living? Really do? Not the legal import-export bullshit? Uncle, stop. Yuna tried. I move things that shouldn't be moved. I know people who make problems disappear. And right now, you're a problem. He shoved Ji-hoon backward. Ji-hoon stumbled, caught himself against the wall. So here's what's going to happen, Jae-sung said. You're going to divorce your wife. You're going to marry my niece. You're going to be a father to that baby. And you're going to treat her like a queen. And if I don't, then I'll make sure you disappear. Permanently, completely. Your campaign, your life, everything. Gone. The threat hung in the air. Jae-sung leaned in close. Do you understand me? Ji-hoon's face was white with fear and fury. I understand. Good. Now get the fuck out of my niece's apartment. Ji-hoon straightened his shirt, tried to salvage some dignity. Looked at Yuna. We'll talk about this later. No, you won't, Jae-sung interrupted. You'll talk to her when I say you can talk to her. Now leave. Ji-hoon looked like he wanted to argue. Looked at Jae-sung's face. Thought better of it. He left. The door closed behind him. Silence filled the apartment. Then Yuna collapsed onto her couch, sobbing. Jae-sung immediately went to her, pulled her into his arms. I'm sorry, Uncle. Don't apologize. This isn't your fault. I'm so stupid. You're not stupid. You're trusting. There's a difference. He held her while she cried. He lied to you. That's on him, not you. What do I do? Yuna's voice was muffled against his chest. I'm pregnant with his baby. He's married. He doesn't even want it. What do you want? She pulled back, looked at him with red, swollen eyes. What? The baby. Do you want it? I don't know. I thought I did. I was excited this morning. But now, there's no rush to decide, Jae-sung said gently. You have time. Think about what you want. Not what he wants. Not what I want. What you want. I'm scared. I know. But whatever you decide, I'm here. I'll support you. Always. Yuna leaned into him again. I love you, Uncle. I love you too, Yuna, ya. They sat like that for a while. Jae-sung holding his niece while she cried, thinking about how he was going to absolutely destroy Ji-hoon if he hurt her any more than he already had. Uncle? Yuna's voice was small. Yes? Is it true? What you said about what you do? About making people disappear? Jae-sung was quiet for a moment, then, some of it. Would you really? To protect you? Yes, without hesitation. He pulled back to look at her. You're all I have left, Yuna. You're my brother's daughter. I raised you. I'd do anything for you. Even kill someone? Even that. Yuna shivered. That's scary, Uncle. I know. I'm sorry you had to see that side of me. But he needed to know I'm serious. Do you think he'll marry me? After the divorce? Jae-sung's jaw tightened. Honestly, I don't know. But I'll make sure he takes responsibility, one way or another. They sat in silence again. Friday morning arrived gray and drizzly. Seoul's autumn rain tapping against Minji's apartment windows in a steady rhythm. Camille woke to the sound, hand immediately moving to her stomach. Good morning, sweet pea, she whispered as she picked up her phone to call Jae-sung. Camille pressed call. It rang once, twice. Camille. His voice was warm, concerned, relief evident. Are you okay? Where are you? I've been trying to reach you. I'm safe. I'm at Minji's. She closed her eyes, let his voice wash over her. Can I come over? I need to talk to you. About everything. Of course. Anytime. When? Today? This evening? Yes. Perfect. I'll make dinner. He sounded happy. Excited. Actually, You can finally meet my niece. She'll be here. I've been wanting to introduce you. Camille's heart stopped. His niece. Your niece? Yes. She's been going through some things, and I thought it might be nice for her to meet you. Another strong woman, someone who can maybe... He trailed off. Is that okay? Sire, it's not a problem, Camille said. 6 p.m.? I'll cook. Nothing fancy, just 6 is perfect. I'll see you then. The rest of the day passed in a blur of nervous preparation. Camille showered, agonizing over what to wear. Something nice, but not too formal. Something that showed she cared but wasn't trying too hard. She settled on a deep blue dress that Minji had bought her months ago. It was simple, elegant. By 5:30 p.m., she was ready. Hairstyled, minimal makeup, the blue dress, and comfortable shoes. Minji looked her over approvingly. You look beautiful. I look terrified. That too, but mostly beautiful. Minji handed her a small gift bag. For him, since you're having dinner. Inside was a bottle of expensive whiskey. Minji, I can't afford... I got it. Consider it moral support. She hugged Camille. You can do this. Just remember, you deserve love. You deserve happiness. And you deserve a partner who supports you. Thank you for everything. Call me after. I want to know how it goes. Camille nodded, grabbed her coat and purse, and headed out into the drizzly Seoul evening. The taxi ride to Jae-sung's penthouse felt simultaneously too long and too short. She watched the city pass by. Neon signs reflecting in puddles, people hurrying under umbrellas, normal life continuing while her world was about to change. She kept rehearsing what to say. I'm pregnant. It's yours. I'm certain. I need your help. I can't fight Ji-hoon alone. I love you. I've been pushing you away, but I love you. Simple, direct, true. The taxi pulled up outside Jae-sung's building. Camille paid, took a deep breath, and stepped out into the rain. The doorman recognized her, nodded her through with a smile. She rode the elevator up, watching the numbers climb. Each floor feeling like a step closer to either everything she wanted or complete disaster. The elevator dinged. Top floor. Penthouse. The doors opened. Camille stepped out into the hallway, walked to his door, raised her hand to knock, and hesitated. Everything was about to collide. Camille knocked. Footsteps approaching from inside. The door opened. Yuna stood there. For a split second, they just stared at each other. Yuna, in a soft cream sweater and jeans, long straight black hair perfect. Camille in her blue dress, holding a gift bag, and frozen in the doorway. Recognition hit them both simultaneously. Yuna's face transformed from polite greeting to absolute fury in the space of a heartbeat. You! The shriek was loud enough to echo in the hallway. What the fuck are you doing here? Camille couldn't speak, couldn't move. Her brain was trying to process what was happening, but couldn't make sense of it. Yuna, Ji-hoon's girlfriend, opening the door to Jae-sung's penthouse. Are you stalking me now? Yuna's voice was getting higher, more hysterical. First the hospital, now here? Are you insane? Camille finally found her voice, though it came out weak and confused. I didn't know what? That this is my uncle's house? Yuna was shaking with rage, and tears were already forming in her large eyes. How did you even find out where he lives? Your uncle? Stop. Rewind. What just happened? Camille showed up at Jae-sung's penthouse to tell him she's pregnant with his baby. Yuna opened the door. I want to hear from you, beautiful souls. How do you think Camille should handle this moment? Can you imagine being in either woman's position? What would you do if you opened a door to find your world colliding like this? Drop your thoughts below. I read every single comment, and your perspectives make this community so special. Where are you joining us from today? Let me know your country and what time you're watching. I love seeing our global family come together. If you're not subscribed, subscribe now and smash that notification bell because when this family dinner implodes, you do not want to miss a single second. Thank you for being part of this family. Thank you for your comments, your hearts, your time. Part 6 is going to take us somewhere deep, somewhere raw, somewhere healing, and I can't wait to share it with you. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Remember, your voice matters, your story matters, you matter. See you soon, beautiful family.